Welcome to Masters of None. On tonight's show, the boys look at videography's biggest challenges. Like, what could that be? Forgetting to press record? Being able to get someone to pay you for what you love doing? Who knows? And also, we'll have picks of the week, maybe, if it's not too much of a challenge. So welcome to this week's episode of Videography's Biggest Challenges.
All right.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Our poor Chris Watkins Media, as it says on his birth certificate, has not had the greatest prequel to the stream. Christoph, how are you?
I've been to the dentist and it was not fun.
We thought we might actually have to postpone this week because he may have been like a bear with a sore head out here, because we're talking abscess, yeah?
Yeah, they well, we thought they were going to take my tooth out, and then they decided they didn't need to.
You went into graphic detail with me. Do you want to do that on the stream?
People might be having their tea.
Probably best not.
Best not. You know what? When we first started this stream, I used to get like quite nervous.
I was going to say, yeah.
Like before we started, I'd be a bit scared to do it, but then I'd be like, oh, I've got to be the Chris Watkins Media everyone knows and loves, everybody. Yay. And now I'm just like, nah, let's just chat. I think I'm already a bit drunk. I've not really eaten today.
Actually, we were running late because we were doing a product. We were doing a product photography shoot, and that ran really, really late. I wanted to get it boxed off, so we haven't eaten. Emma's just called me to say, do you mind if I eat first? Because I'm starving. I haven't eaten, so cheers.
Cheers.
Probably the best stream.
Down it.
That's one gone. So, what are we talking about tonight?
Videography's biggest challenges.
Oh, before we go any further, for those who have been watching the stream for the last few weeks, we have to address this. I thought I was being trolled for a number of weeks, and the name of this gentleman does not give him away. I have a previous history in entertainment, and Emma and I, we did shows. We worked on ships for years. We lived in Cyprus for a couple of years. And before we went to Cyprus, I toured Mallorca for 6 months. And this gentleman, Mark, is one of the greatest animators. I'm not too sure if he was the ex-manager of the hotel he was at, but he was hilarious. And he was the best animator I've ever seen. He's He's fantastic. And his clue last week was, are you ready? He literally had the kids eating out the palm of his hand. And every time, are you ready? Seriously, the place would like, yeah! It got a bit too much. Mark, lovely to touch base with you again. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad I know who you are now. Thank you.
That's much better than us trying to find him on YouTube and nothing showing up.
Oh my God, yeah. I was, yeah. Oh, the Distance Acoustic Duo.
Just Matt here. Hello, Matt. Hope you're well, mate. How you doing?
All right. Say it.
All right.
There you go. That's big enough for. Cool.
So,
Videography's biggest, what would we call this?
I don't know. Biggest challenges?
Biggest challenges.
Yeah.
Okay. You came up with that title.
I did, yeah. I didn't think much past the title.
Brilliant.
I mean, oh, we've got someone else. Oh, wait. Good tar. Lovely jubbly.
That's good.
Matt. And evening, chaps. Steve left.
Steve's here. Good evening, Steve. Good to see you, mate. Seeing you next weekend for Steve's birthday down in Brighton.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Videography's biggest challenges.
Yeah. So I thought this was quite an interesting topic. We usually break the stream down into 3 different sections, just so like it keeps it structured for us. But I think our maybe not the most successful streams, but the ones which are important, where me and you have the most fun, is just us chatting crap. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to do some more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, for those of you who haven't seen it before, this stream came about because Chris and I are the modern versions of pen pals. We met on the internet, not like that, just over a year ago. And all the way through lockdown, we were having Zoom beers because clearly we're in a very, very similar setup. And that's kind of what it was. And one late night Zoom beer, Chris was like, "Oh, we should stream this." So that's what we do. So yeah, you're absolutely right. So videography's biggest challenges. It can be a challenging industry. Oops.
He's
Hi,
got a
Nick.
great surname, hasn't he? Oh,
Is that your dad?
that's my dad. I took that picture.
That's beautifully, beautifully exposed.
Oh, like everything I do. And we've also got Sophie. Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Sophie.
So you and Matt in separate rooms, or what's going on?
No, they're just adding to the view count, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Right. So what? Just think about it. What is the biggest challenge you face on a day-to-day basis, or maybe not even a day-to-day? What is the biggest challenge you face as a videographer? What is the biggest problem you have that you wish you could fix? What I know what mine is.
I'd say my biggest challenge as a videographer.
See, you say it wrong.
I know. I realized that. I've never said it that way before. I think it's because I'm thinking. By the way, it's not videographer; it's videographer.
You always say it wrong. Just letting you know. Yeah, you've always said it wrong. Yeah.
Cracking. Yeah. There you go. My biggest challenge as an elephant is quite simply, it's getting people. Do you know what? This is very, very similar to the entertainment industry. Getting people to value what I do, and if I can, my previous life was a singer, so people get up on karaoke. And they think, well, I can do that, so that's absolutely fine. There's a difference between a singer and an entertainer, whereas there's a difference between a videographer and someone who just shoots a video. And I think increasingly, because people can make TikToks or Reels or anything on their phone, they don't necessarily value the abilities that we have, and that's quite often. I get to the point where it's like, it's this much. Oh wow, that's a little bit too expensive. But I've got very, very quickly to where I was towards the end of my entertainment career, which is, well, if that's too expensive for you, you can't afford me. Which I know sounds absolutely awful, but yeah, it's my biggest one is getting prospective clients to value what I do.
Okay, and how do you do that?
How
do you think in the future you could get your clients to value you more?
Only to take clients that value me, which is really, really hard to do. Do you know what? I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer.
Shall I tell you an experience I've had that might help you with this?
For those of you who don't know both of our backgrounds or one of our backgrounds, Chris is a good few years down the road from me, from where I started. I was freelance for quite a while, but I haven't been doing it as long as Chris. So he's kind of a bit of my oracle. So yeah, absolutely. Fire away. What's the golden bullet? Silver bullet. A bullet.
It sounds like you're kind of already doing it already. But I know are we allowed to talk about what we were talking about before the stream started? But we won't mention figures or anything.
Fire away.
Yeah. So we were talking about a prospective job that Adam's got coming up, or did have coming up. I don't know where I'm going with this. They were asking you to do quite a lot of work for not very much money, but you've been working with them for a long time and you've got an established relationship. You love the guys that you work with, but the money's not great at the end of the day.
Yeah.
the best thing I think you can do is say, right, try somebody else and see how good a job they do. See if they match the quality that I put out.
Yeah.
And I've got very, very similar clients at the moment, which I'm feeling the same way about. So people who don't value you, you say, right, you go and find out how much somebody else would quote you for this job and see whether it's anywhere near what I'm charging you or what I'm trying to up my rates to. That's what I'd say. And if they say, fine, we'll go somewhere else, sod you, you can do your own thing, we don't care. They go and find someone else, and 9 times out of 10, they won't be anywhere near as good, and they'll come crawling back to you and say, yeah, we'll pay what you asked for.
It's funny you should say that, because actually this particular client that you're talking about, they do have other videographers, but I have already been told that I'm the preferred. And a number of times they've come to me and said they wouldn't be able to do it. They wouldn't be able to handle this type of shoot. Would you mind do? Are you available? Because we'd love you to do it. Because if not, we're not going to offer video for it. There is a service that offer video on top of what they do. So I know I'm already the preferred, which actually puts me in a good position. But I actually don't think there's the budget in their budget to be able to cover what I would charge. I know it
right.
did.
So wait. On that point, if there isn't the budget, then it shouldn't be happening. That's my opinion. If they can't afford to pay a decent rate, they shouldn't be offering it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Like I've had so many dealings with exactly the same thing, and we've worked under an umbrella company, and we would charge them a certain rate, and then they would double or triple or quadruple what we charge them and pass that on. And like, it really wound me up actually when we did it.
But you see that's something to bear in mind, because that's annoyed me in the past with certain things, and I've had to grip myself a little bit, and it's almost like, well, were you happy with the money that was offered to you? Because if so, then what they're making out of it, that's on them.
Yeah.
If you
it doesn't matter, does it? If you're happy with what you get out of it, that's not a problem. You just have to look past the fact that you're being pimped out,
exploited.
Yeah, but if you're happy at the end of the day, if you're happy with the amount of money you're getting after that shoot, it's not a problem.
It's not easy.
I guess this is Matt. 2 right, my mum says. There you go, 2 right. A tricky prospect, considering 99% can never understand what you actually do. So if you were coming up to a new client now and they were asking you to make a 3-minute promo video with a voiceover on it, they want loads of motion graphics, but they've only got a budget of 50 quid. What would you say to them? What is it that goes into a shoot from your point of view?
Well, this is the problem, because you can always get on the side of almost blinding them with science and making it coming across like you're trying to make it sound like you do more than what you do. But I don't think it can ever be understated just the amount of things, the amount of hats that we wear in our setups on a shoot. I was on a shoot the other day, and it was it was just me. Emma wasn't available, and it's everything. So the amount, I mean, if you compare big budget to what I was doing the job of DOP or DP, director of photography. I was doing the lighting, I was doing the focus pulling, I was doing the audio.
You were the
director. I did. Thank you very much.
You're the producer.
Yeah, and then
you're
editor.
The video editor.
Yeah. So I mean, the problem is, and you're absolutely right with this. Was it Nick that said that? No, Matt. You're absolutely right, because when you see a video, you don't see everything that goes in the back of it. To answer your question, or to at least address your question, Chris, I don't know because once you start going into all the ins and outs with a client, you just sound like a dick. But don't you?
Yeah, I know what you mean. You are when you write it out in like a WhatsApp or an email, it sounds unbelievably complicated,
Yeah,
and that's because it is.
it is.
It's
It is.
obscenely complicated, and
Yeah,
people don't understand that, and people
but
don't
just hey,
appreciate it.
if you're trying to absolutely nail a shot, and I mean everything with regard from focus to exposure and everything, if you try to explain to a client, oh, by the way, and I've had clients before watching on my reference monitor, and they're like, "Oh, why is it going like that all the way? Oh, those are zebras. Oh, yeah, I'm just that's so I can nail the exposure. Oh, okay, that doesn't really. There's a lot of red on me. Yeah, that's focus peaking.
Mm.
What? Well, that's to make sure that what I want in focus is in focus. Oh, yeah, but this is all. Yeah, that's the audio monitor because to make sure that you're not peaking in the audio. It's these amount of things that when you're on a shoot, you can show, and you hope that a client will be like, ah, they're really concentrating on quite a lot of things. But to actually, yeah, to put it in a WhatsApp or an email, you just come across as, oh my God, what I do is absolutely amazing. And no one else in the world could possibly do what I do. But it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. How many
It's a
times,
lot
if
of
you
stuff
don't
you
mind?
have to master, isn't it? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
if you're on a shoot and you mess up one aspect, if you
Mm,
mess up either the camera work, the lighting, the sound, or the edit,
mm.
it's going to turn out rubbish. So you have to
Gone.
master all four. And yeah, it is a lot of work. We've got a couple of comments. Should we address some of the comments?
Just to finish off that point as well, and you and I have both talked about this. You've got the shoot and you've got the edit, but then my worst part is the middle of that. It's the drive home, and it's have I got the footage? Have
Yeah,
I got it? And that we've got a client down in Milton Keynes, one of our monthly content clients, and I'm scared every time I set off, and that's a 3.5 to 4 hour drive, depending on how rubbish the M6 is that day. And I absolutely hate that drive because all I'm thinking all the way up is, did I get the right white balance because it's beauty? Did I get the right exposure because it's beauty? Did I get the right focus because it's beauty? And I hate that drive. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
mm. Right. My mum said this is a great topic. Thanks, Mum. Hello, Annie.
Thanks, Ali.
You're live on the internet. Explaining yourself is useless, and the more you do it, the most you talk yourself into a hole.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't respect it, they don't deserve your time. I agree with
Well,
that as well.
yeah, I completely agree with that. The problem with that is that if you turned away anyone who didn't understand you, especially at first, without having a portfolio, you're never going to work. That's the problem as well, isn't it? It's getting established and having that portfolio where a lot of our peers will go free at first, which is great for them, but it just like with the entertainment industry, it cheapens the whole industry as well, which is never a good thing.
Hmm.
What is your biggest challenge?
Uh, that's a hard
Gas?
question, isn't it? I hadn't thought about this. That's a
Is it
really
gas?
hard question.
Is it gas?
It's that is. I don't know. I think people perceive. I think you perceive. Do you want to explain what gas is?
Yeah, I am a great believer in the fact that our dear Chris is a suffer from GAS, which is
It's
gear
true.
acquisition syndrome. Chris has a lot of equipment. My company runs on one camera. Don't get me wrong. If I was able to have more, and you and I are both talking about how to get bang for buck, and for me to add a decent second cam, because the only second cam I have is a Fisher Price Canon, and I shoot with the A7 III. But you have so much equipment, and you're always looking to get more. Gear acquisition syndrome. And I know I'm not doing you any favors with your beloved, but yeah, I think that might be one of your big problems.
You know what? Explaining myself just sounds like an excuse in my head already.
I mean, like us explaining ourselves to our clients.
Yeah, it kind of does. The thing is,
Have a go.
okay, I don't have. All right, I've got a lot of equipment. I think it's fair to say. I don't know. I don't think I've got that much. I think I do very well with what I've got.
I think. Oh, listen, I'm the first to preach to the choir how well you do with what you've got, but you have a lot of it. It's the fact that you do great with the stripped down versions of cameras that you do. You shoot on APS-C, you shoot on a crop body, and the stuff that you turn out is just stunning. But you all, how many Sony crop bodies do you have, Chris?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's 5. But I do use them all.
I'm not
Like, I
saying you
don't.
don't, but
I
two
do.
of them are just for your YouTube setup.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a bit of an indulgence. I'll give that to you. The two A6400s I've got, yes, they were a bit indulgent. But the fact that I can sit down and turn my computer on and be ready for a stream like this, or be ready to film a YouTube video if I'm feeling in the mood, in less than a minute, like that's how long it takes me, is. I was talking to Rachel about this the other day, and we were sat in a McDonald's drive-through.
Classy.
Right? You'll like this. And
what did you get?
I think I got a chicken.
No.
What are they called? Chicken.
No.
The chicken burger thing. Chicken Royale, but that's Burger King. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We were sat in McDonald's in the drive-through. Well, we pulled up to the drive-through and we sat in the car park because Rachel said, "Oh, I think they've got a 30% off offer on that app, on their McDonald's app." And I was like, "Oh, all right, but how long is that going to take you to like order it? Because I'm not waiting around." And she was sat there and she was fanning around trying to order on this app. And this is going to make me sound like a complete dick. I know it is.
You're such a lovely person. You really are.
But we were sat in the car park trying to order this for like 10-ish minutes to save 30%. And our order came to a tenner. So we saved £3 over 10 minutes times 2 people.
Okay, so £1.50.
And I thought, yeah, £1.50 each. So we're saving 15p a minute. Is my time worth 15p a minute? Am I sat here wasting my life for 15p a minute? And it's not. I don't know whether the answer is yes or no, but I know for Rachel, she would save that money. She would be like, "Yeah, I'll sit here for an hour. If it takes an hour, I'm going to get my £1.50 off." But for me, I'm thinking that 10 minutes, I could be doing something else and making more money than that 15p a minute.
Yeah, but the thing is with you, Chris, there's every chance that extra 10 minutes you've already gone and spent well over the £3 that you would have saved.
Yeah, but it comes back to the camera. So I've got this camera here set up, ready to go, because I value my time.
Yes.
And I'm like, every minute that I spend messing around, setting up the camera, setting up the lighting, all of that, I want it as streamlined as possible because I don't want to waste my life. Do you know what I mean? I've only got a limited amount, and I want to make sure I cram in as much as I can.
Oh, do you know? I absolutely get that. Whereas in contrast, when I'm shooting a YouTube video, the thing is that both of us are fans of the Busman's Holiday. We do this for a living. We also do this for a hobby because our livings have come out of a passion for what we do. But the thing is, to shoot a video for me, that softbox has to go on the C stand over that side, on behind a VL150. I've got to go this way. I've got to set up that camera over there, up, right. I've got to get the teleprompter onto there. I've got to set everything with there. I've got to get focus right. Focus wasn't right on a shoot I just did, and that really annoyed me. I had to reshoot it. I have to get exposure right, white balance. I have to get that mic in there, up there. Yeah, I completely get it. I do absolutely get it. So then if gear acquisition syndrome, hold on, you've got another A6400 up there shooting down. Yeah?
It's not up there at the minute, but usually it's up there, yeah.
Right. Do you use that often? Because I know someone who's looking for a crop body at a really, really good price. So
no, I don't use it very often, but
oh,
I still like for it to be there.
mate, I like for the hair to be there, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's good to know you. What I want to know then, if you're justifying gas gear acquisition syndrome for those.
Oh no! Wait! I'm not. I don't even think I've got it. So I'm probably still in denial. But carry on with your point.
Like an Egyptian man in the river. So
I'm gonna justify why I don't think I've got it in a minute. But you carry on.
Okay, but if gas isn't your biggest challenge, what is?
Oh, for God's sake!
You're the one that came up with the title, mon ami.
Yeah, I guess.
Justify why you haven't got gas first. Go on.
So I know a couple of people who have 100% got gas, who blow me out of the water. They will buy every single new camera that comes out. They own every single lens. They've got 7, 8, 900 pound tripods. They've got 7 gimbals. They've got every iteration of the GoPro. Like everyone, every drone. Like
just get the Osmo Action. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, maybe. Notice they haven't made a second one. So I think, I mean, maybe I have a bit, but I won't spend money unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, anyway. So okay, Chris, what are the bits of gear you absolutely know you shouldn't? You know, this was going to be one of my questions.
Thanks, Matt.
Oh, there's a really good one.
Just sorry, I brought that off too quickly.
Yeah, so well, shall I address that?
So if you're saying that all the stuff that you've got you can justify, there must be a purchase that you can't.
There is. There's at least 2 I can think of off the top of my head.
All right, mate. You don't have to really smack yourself down.
Well, I might as well go into it. This is what this is about, isn't it? But so about 3 years ago, this I don't know whether I bought it unnecessarily, but it turned out to be a complete waste of money. So we were doing lots of drone stuff, and we kept getting asked if we could do long-term time lapses. So like time lapses of building sites, buildings going up, buildings coming down, all that sort of thing. We got asked it probably once a month for about a year and a half. And every now and again, I'd look on eBay and see if there was a time-lapse camera going for sale. And there was one called the Photo Sentinel, which was 12 grand new. If you bought it, it's a company in Australia make it. It's a very, very smart piece of kit. And what it does is it'll take a picture at regular intervals, whatever you want. It's got a 3G SIM card built into the camera. It'll upload that to a server, and then you can display the work in progress time lapse on the company's website of whoever was making it.
Not only that, but if anything happens to the camera during the thing, you're backed up until the last upload.
It's a very, very clever piece of kit, like extremely clever, extremely high end. And we kept getting inquiries for this kind of thing. And then one day on eBay, I saw one for 600 quid. It's 12 grand new.
And
But
you
this
sold for
person,
how much?
600 quid. And I thought, I can make some money here. So I messaged him and I was like, yep, I'll have it. Where are you? And he was in, oh God, he was up by you. He was up near Liverpool. I think he was very North Wales, basically.
I think
And
it
I
was
was like,
like,
all right.
he was very north.
Yeah, extremely north. And I drove up to get it. It took me bloody ages. Got it in the car. Came with a 10-meter mast and all the pegs to go in the ground. Make sure everything was secure. You could have it right
Yeah.
up in the air. Came with
Yeah.
came with everything you'd ever need to make it work.
Yeah.
Never got another inquiry. Spent 600 quid on it. Never got another inquiry about it.
But did you not think of then going back to the people who had already inquired, or had those ships sailed?
Oh yeah, those ships had sailed. Yeah.
Have you still
So
got it?
yeah. It's in a box under my bed, and you have to pay 50 quid a month. Nah, I don't think it's worth anything anymore. So when I got it, it was a few years old. It was already a bit out of date when I got it. That's why I got it so cheap. Now it's been 3 or 4 years on. It's worth very little. But you have to pay. This is even funnier. You have to pay £50 a month to use the camera. So like a subscription fee to test it. So I thought I'm only going to test it if I know I've got a job coming up. So I've never even turned it on.
So you don't even know if it works.
I know it works because the man showed me it working, but I've never used it.
I'm gonna say it's a little bit like Pandora's box, isn't it?
And if my mum and dad are still watching, I was on holiday with them when I decided to go and buy it, and all I was talking about for a week was whether I should go and buy this camera.
Okay.
Do you want to hear the other story? The other one?
Yeah, I do.
I'm trying to think whether there's anything else. I think most of the stuff I've got, most of the stuff I've bought, I've either still got it or I've used it to death. So it's died a valiant death in the effort of getting the best shot. But one thing I did buy, which I regretted buying almost immediately. Oh, this is a better story, actually. And it's almost the same intro, so I don't even have to change my spiel at the beginning. Something I bought, which I'd wanted forever, I'd wanted since I'd started videography, was a Sony FS5.
Yeah.
And it was a monster.
That's a full-on. For those who don't know, it's a full-on cinema camera. It's whatever format it is. Is it Micro Four Thirds or is it the?
No, it's Super 35. So it's basically APS-C. So
yeah,
all the lenses I had still worked on it. Didn't have to buy any of that
because it's E-mount, right?
It's E-mount, yeah. So everything I had would work on it. And it was £4,500. And I really, really wanted it. And we got a big job in that we thought we could really use. It shoots 240 frames a second HD. And it's been out for like 5 years. So it was a really big deal when we bought it. It was like, this is the dog's bollocks. It was incredible. And I bought that. I drove to really North Wales to buy it. Why does everything I buy come from Wales?
North.
Must all fall off the back of a truck. Gonna lose some subscribers, I think. But it came with a lens. I think I paid. It was about 4.5. It might have been 4.8 for it. I got it home and I hated it.
Why?
Oh, I couldn't get on with it one bit. I'll tell you why. Like I've just got a new piece of kit today, and when I got it out of the box, I didn't know how to use it, and I thought this is an absolute pile of crap. But actually, it works really well when you get to use it.
It looks very, very good.
Yeah, it's very nice. We'll talk about that later. But I'm not the kind of guy who will look at something and give up straight away. Like I will try until I can get the very best out of a piece of equipment. And this camera just wasn't performing how I was expecting it to perform. And it was massive and it was heavy. The main problems I had with it were the focus was nowhere near as good as it should have been. Like I'm used to autofocus on an APS-C body. So I was expecting the focus to be half as good as that. It was nowhere near. The autofocus sucked on a monumental scale. Adding to that the fact that the internal screen, the little flip out screen, looked like it was from the 80s. You couldn't ever, if you were doing manual focus, you could never tell whether it was in focus or not. So you had to spend another £1,000 on a screen, which I did, and it still looked crap. I could never get it in focus. And you know, I was talking to Adam earlier about a lens that I've got, which is the 18-105 f4. That was the lens. That was the camera. That's the reason I sold that lens, was because it sucked on that camera.
Yeah, but then you forgot that you didn't like it and bought it again.
I did do that.
The lens, by the way, not the camera.
Yeah,
He's
not
not
the
made of
camera.
money.
No. Do you want me to keep going, or should we move on?
Well, speaking of, to address the question from Matt, although it is to Chris, and actually to time with the follow focus, I think the only thing that I can think that I've splurged on, as it were, and I regret it, although it's... How many SCART leads do you own?
3.
When was the last time you used a SCART lead?
10 years ago.
10 years, yeah, absolutely, exactly. I was going to say 10 years. You don't want to throw, as a geek, as a fellow geek, as fellow geeks, you don't want to throw anything away. And it's not hoarding. I try and tell this to Emma. It's not hoarding. It's just, I never know if I'm going to need it. And there's a chance you might need it. And when I got the gimbal that we use, which was my first ever gimbal, there it is. It's actually got my hat on it right now. You can't really tell. It's the Weebill S, and I love it. And honestly, that really leveled up everything for us in terms of handheld shooting. It's just it opened us up. But I went all in. So I got the transmission module, so you can chuck it to a phone and all that kind of stuff. I got the follow focus. I got whatever the big package was, and I've never used either of those things. I've never used. Oh, I tell a lie. I've used the transmission module once. Remember when I was doing the overhead up here, and I used it to kind of check on my phone. Other than that, I've never used them, and that was probably an extra 150, 200 quid on top of the package, and I've never used them. But I'm never going to get rid of them because I never know if I'm going to use it. But the problem is, if a job ever comes in that I feel I'm going to need to use it, I'm going to spend like 10, 12 hours trying to absolutely nail it because I'm not going to turn up on a shoot without knowing how to work it. So with regards to splurging, that I think for me is the only thing that I can think I've splurged on that I've never ever used. It doesn't quite meet the Sony cinema camera of you.
Well, I sold the Sony FS5 and I bought the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K.
Do you still use that though?
Sold it. Hated it.
Really hard to work with the colors, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they shoot RAW, so it was nice.
Huge file size.
Yeah, that's the reason I sold it. Thank you for reminding me, because I was really tempted to get another.
It's ProRes, isn't it?
Yeah, ProRes RAW. Yeah, so no, I think it's actually called, it's B-RAW, isn't it? Yeah, it's called B-RAW.
Is it B-RAW?
Yeah, and if you shoot uncompressed, you can shoot for 12 minutes on a 256 gig SSD.
So, firstly, before we move on, to address what we were saying before, what we should actually do is any clients who don't value what we're doing, we should just send them a link to this stream, because the amount of stuff that we're discussing is actually the stuff that runs through our heads whenever we're on a shoot. So I'm not letting you get off too easily, because I still don't know what your biggest challenge is in videography.
You know what? I think it's similar to what yours is. Actually, yeah, I know exactly what it is. I know what my problem is.
Go on.
I love making video too much. So if somebody comes to me with a cool idea and they haven't got the budget for it, I am all over it. Like, I will do the best job I can possibly do because I love doing what I do. That's my biggest issue. And then that doesn't allow me enough time to focus on other things that I love, like my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is going down the plug hole because I'm focusing too much on other jobs that I love doing. But I'm not going to apologize for that. I
No.
love what I do, every minute of it. You know what? I wake up in the morning and I don't think like I have to go to work. I think I get to go to work. I
Yeah.
get to go and do this awesome thing as a job every day.
Yeah.
And I
There's
think a
something
lot of
that I
people
need
don't.
to exactly on that. I need to grip myself sometimes because sometimes I think, oh, I've got this edit and I've got that edit, and oh, they need this and I need that. And it's like, seriously, I have a 5 second commute. When I'm not shooting, I have a 5 second commute,
Yeah.
and I'm literally here and I'm creating. It's not necessarily it's not necessarily always my creation of choice because it's for whoever's paying for me to create, but I'm still creating. But I know what you're saying with regards to you worried about your YouTube channel and you not being able to be there because you have your. I always say it for mine, and I don't think I've ever heard you say it for you, but I think it is. Your YouTube channel is the same as mine. It's your sandbox. It's where you get to play,
Mm.
and I think I speak on behalf of both of us when I say we love trying new stuff and new techniques because that's where it's almost our safety net because there's no comeback. We don't produce for big channels in as much as we're not overarched by a management company or anything. We put up what we want. If we want to say the F word for 12 minutes straight and just post it, we will. Probably going to get a strike if we say it's not made for kids, but it's absolutely fine. Monetize away. But yeah, it's somewhere where we love to play. So I get that, but at the same time, it's nice to play with other stuff that you hadn't necessarily thought of. I did exactly the same as you. It's someone who doesn't have the budget, but I really like the idea. So you just run with it, don't you?
Yeah. And there's another aspect to it as well. Like I love part of the reason I made my channel is that I really love helping people. It doesn't matter what I'm helping them in. Like I love giving my time to other people,
Yeah.
and so any project which isn't they haven't got the budget, but it's for a good cause. I'm always up for a lot of the time. I'm up for that as well. Like if
Not
I can
necessarily a
help a lot of
charity, just not necessarily a charity. What you mean is just literally something that you kind of believe in almost as much as the person who's approached you.
yeah. So I've got a friend who I do a lot of work for. I do lots of videos for, and he's the most motivated, creative, and determined chap that I've ever met in my life. And I know one day he's going to be a millionaire. I just know he is because there's no stopping him. And I just want to see him succeed. Like I don't care what it like if it costs me time, it really doesn't bother me because I want to see him conquer the world and I know one day he's going to do that.
And what you're doing is helping him do that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
I know
And
you
what I
do
get in return is not it's not very going back to my how much am I worth per minute thing. That is blown out the window because I spend a lot of time with him. But
I know, because in
I feel it's
conversations
time well
between you and
invested.
me, yeah, conversations between you and me, I've got really, really mad on your behalf for no
Yeah.
reason. I get so annoyed, and I'm like, oh, but I get it. I totally get it. It's yeah, because at the end of the day, and not to sound so cliche and all that, but what we are creating is an art form. It's not necessarily as good as maybe well, actually, your stuff's really good, but my stuff might not necessarily be as good as a bit of Tchaikovsky or a Monet or whatever. But it is art, it's expression, it's creation, in just like creativity rather than it all started in 7 days. But you know what I mean? We are creating stuff, and yeah, it's nice when you're able to do that for other people and really help them. Yeah, I get where you're going there.
You know what? You put yourself down too much because something that you can do, which I can't do, and I'm very envious of it. Shall I tell you, or shall I not blow your head up?
Not have to worry about putting my head in a cap because it's going to come out exactly the same.
You're going to look like DSLR video shooter soon because he always wears hats.
Mate, seriously, the minute that Caleb literally, the minute he embraced his baldness and took his cap off, I applauded him, but I never wanted to be that guy. So let's not say that ever again.
Okay, all right, we won't say that. Shall I tell you what it is though?
Go on.
You can do, which I can't do. Do you have any idea?
No.
You are a master of this. You are brilliant at it.
BS.
And I suck at it. Adding humor into a video. Every video you make, I laugh at it. At some point throughout it, I'm like, that is brilliant. I wish I could think of that point for my videos, and I just never can do it. I try. I was talking about an elephant in the room earlier in one of my videos, and I was like, let's address the elephant in the room. Hello, elephant. And then I thought, that's stupid. No one's ever going to watch that. Whereas you would come up with a really good thing.
I'd laugh at that. Did you like my shotgun from the iRig Pre 2 video?
I didn't watch it.
Brilliant.
Oh, wait. What did you say? Put that?
Yeah, the iRig Pre 2. I sent you a draft, but then I went back and did it. I kept on cocking a shotgun with SFX in the background as it was going through.
I was going to watch it, but then you took it down.
Brilliant. It's gone back up again. Thanks very much for supporting me. Thanks for.
I will watch it.
Thanks for seeing the premiere.
Dying.
Mate, don't die.
Oh, my
seriously. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Mate, is your internet okay? Or is it me?
No, it's me.
Oh, it's not you, it's me.
Oh, is it?
No, I was coining a phrase. I still don't think we found out what your biggest problem is. I get the fact that you're saying it's very similar to do you know what, actually? The minute that you floated this idea to me, other than clients, something that I feel is one of my biggest challenge is staying up to date with techniques. And although you could say that the techniques are done to death and all the techniques are out there, my background is also motion graphics. So I love deep diving into After Effects in the back of out of Premiere. God, I've been watching a lot of American YouTube videos this week when I've been waiting for renders. When I jump out the back of Premiere and go into After Effects. So it's all the little things like when the Scribble first came out, when there was a video, Bruno Mars did one. And it's like, oh, I need to find my pen. I need to find my motion graphics tablet. I need to make sure I know that technique. So if a client ever says, oh, by the way, I want to emulate this, I can say, yeah, confidently, rather than what we always say is, yeah, no problem. And then 2 minutes later, when we've left them, we're on YouTube trying to find how to do it. So for me, it's actually staying up to date with not necessarily the equipment, but it's the techniques for me.
You know what? Another thing that scares me is, I don't know whether I've ever talked to you about this, but like I used to shoot weddings quite a few years ago.
Wouldn't do it.
I like a wedding occasionally.
I don't know how you do it. It just scared me.
Got one on Sunday actually, so I'll let you know how it goes.
But
we used to shoot weddings this is when I was doing photography, so this is way back, a long time ago. And they had a videographer there, and he turned up and he was rocking a big tripod and a big camera, and he stood in the corner and he was just panning the camera from person to person. And I was thinking, God, he's stuck in his ways, and he hasn't adapted to new technology. And now I'm feeling that maybe I'm in that position. Like you say I've got gear acquisition syndrome, but actually all of my cameras are old comparatively to what's out there at the minute. So there are the A7S III is like going from film to digital. Do you know what I mean? The difference between my camera and that camera is like going from film to digital, because it's just absolutely game changing. But I'm thinking, meh, I'm happy with what I got. I'm happy with what I can produce with the equipment that I've got.
But you know what? to come back, sorry to cut across you, but you like this.
Right.
To come back to you with a compliment, and it's not even a compliment; it's just a fact. The reason why you're saying A7S A7S3 you mentioned then, uh, that's much better in low light, as is the A7 III. But the thing is, I don't think you have a problem with that, because the way in which you're able to manipulate the so-called less capable or less able cameras that you have to not only emulate but surpass the output of other videographers
Not
with
doing
those
it
kind of
well.
cameras. No, but it's not. It's the thing is, the reason why you're saying math there is not because you think, oh, I don't need that camera. It's not as simple as that. It's because you know that your ability with the cameras that you have will still actually help you to get pretty close to what they're already putting out. And in all honesty, who is seeing the slight artifacting, the slight little bit of noise added because you're on a crop body rather than a full frame, other than the likes of you and me? The client will never see that. And yeah, that's in my opinion, that's why you don't have a problem with that, because of your ability with the cameras that you shoot with. You're shooting with cameras that are like 4, 5, 6 years old. You have no right to be putting out the stuff that you do. You don't. You mentioned
Oh,
DSLR video shooter before. Caleb, DSLR video shooter, would hate you.
yeah.
I get what you're saying, but
But
yeah,
at some point, 4K is going to become the norm. It's not going to be long before 4K. If you're shooting in 1080, it's going to be like shooting in 720 now.
yeah, yeah.
And on my screen, which is obscenely obnoxious, 1080 looks awful on it. It looks dreadful. And I used to be the chap who would sit there saying, oh, 1080, yeah, that'll be fine. I can shoot 1080 forever. It won't make any difference. And now I look at it on this screen and I think, nah, it needs to be 4K. And then I think, well, I need slow motion in 4K because a lot of my work that I do is in slow motion. So I need
Right.
4K, 120 frames a second, which the
Hence,
Sony does.
I was about to say, hence your mentioning of the A7S. Yeah, I get that. But
But
you're
I
the
don't
same.
want to upgrade, but like I
No,
feel like one day I'm going to have to.
you said you had a client that was seeing the tearing at 120 frames a second. Did you say?
Did I?
Yeah, it said 120 wasn't slow enough, or 60 wasn't slow enough.
I don't remember that.
I'm not going to mention the client, but yeah. No,
Oh, I know what you mean. They wanted more than 120 frames a second.
yeah.
They wanted like 1,000 frames a second. And I was like, well, you're going to need to spend more than £1,000 on a camera, like £5,000 or £6,000 on a camera to get more than 1,000 frames a second.
Well,
The
let's put it this
FS5 will
way.
do it, but it'll be at 320 resolution.
Yeah, and you will literally need the light of 4 suns to be able to light that footage. I mean, look
Yeah.
at the slow mo guys. Your man, when he first
Yeah,
started that channel, he yeah, he first started that channel because he had a super slow motion camera that was on layover because he was in between shoots and he thought, oh, I'm going to film a bit because it was on
wasn't even
hire.
his, was it?
No, it was on hire. It was on hire for the production company that either he was working for or that he owned. I don't think he actually owned it. I think he was. Yeah, it was on like a big Hollywood blockbuster thing, and that's what he was using. And he was asked to take it home. He was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll shoot some stuff and put it on YouTube."
It's like
But
a
yeah,
80 grand camera.
yeah, 1,000 frames a second, or even higher. I think.
10,000. Some do 10,000. I think one of them does 50,000. 50,000 would be fun to play with, but
Imagine
you
the
think the
light.
Black Magic has a big data consumption. You try shooting on one of those.
Oh, we're talking
Um,
CF cards, really.
have you? I know we've only got 5 minutes left of our stream. Have you got a
Mm.
pick of the week?
Have
Because we
you
did
got
mention
one?
it in the intro. I mean, I've got two that I could choose from. Oh, one of which I can't tell you because it's embargoed, so I can't tell you about that one.
Do I know about that?
Yeah, you watched the YouTube video before the
Oh,
stream.
looks really, really nice. The B-roll is amazing. Yeah, I think it's something that I've shelved for a few weeks, but it's the MX Master 2.
That is a
There's only one
beautiful
reason.
mouse.
There's only one reason why it's the MX Master 2 and not the MX Master, because I was going to get the MX Master. This is an amazing mouse for editors because it has keys that are programmable. So I have this little key here. There's a little, hello. There's two little thingies here. This trims the beginning, that trims the end. That is edit straight down. It's just brilliant. It's an amazing mouse and it's not cheap. However, a really, really good mate of mine, when I was talking to him and I said, listen, do you do me a favor? Can you send me an affiliate link so I can order it so you can earn some money? I don't care. I'm telling them, Chris.
Okay.
Can you send me
It
an
don't
affiliate
work
link?
anyway.
No, I know, because I think they know you and I know each other now. And he said, have you, I've got one of them. It's in a drawer. I'll send it to you. And he did. So thankfully to Chris Watkins Media. And if you can do me a favor, can you resend me that affiliate link? I'll put it below. If you'd like an MX2 Master mouse, have a look below, because this saves me so much time. And I can't thank you enough for having it in a drawer. The MX Master is just, it's an editor's dream. So that's my pick of the week. MX.
Do you know about the button in the thumb placement?
Oh, it's amazing. It launches everything. I nearly hit it then and totally run everything. It's like a launch pad. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's good then. Shall I talk
Yeah.
about my mouse? Do you ever wonder why I don't use that mouse anymore?
Is it because of your friends and mine at Contour?
It is indeed, yeah.
You have the Uni mouse, don't you?
I have the Uni mouse. I'll try and show it. It might not. Where is best?
That's all right.
Wait, where's my button? I've got a button. I'm like, where's my mouse? Oh, it's in my hand. There we go. Right. So there we
Hold
go.
on.
That's better.
Let me get closer. Come on.
There we go. So this is the Uni mouse. So as you can see, it's actually got 3 buttons across the top.
Oh.
So you've got 3 mouse buttons. You've got your little wheel. You've got 2. Oh, it's going to be really hard to show you. Just where the hell are they? There. So you've got 2 assignable buttons here. So you've actually got less functionality than on the MX Master. But you've got a little button here which adjusts the sensitivity of the mouse. So we've got a hardware button that adjusts the sensitivity. And also, I suffer with like RSI quite badly in my wrists. And this mouse can go in like any position you want it to. And the thumb grip moves up and down. You can literally make, instead of you fitting the mouse to your hand, the mouse fits itself around you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good little thing, addition there, because before I was looking at the MX Master, and I had the MX Master, an in-house job I used to have, and I was looking at it, I was like, no, I'm definitely getting the MX Master. But before I was talking to you about the MX Master, I was actually considering a vertical mouse, because I do get that as well. But that means that you've got every single step along the way up to vertical.
It's 100% the most comfortable mouse I've ever used. And I did a video a couple of years ago about, I compared this to the MX Master and to the trackball. Have you seen the Kensington trackball mouse? That thing's a nightmare. Never try one of them. They tried to send me one after that video, even though I slagged them off, and I never really knew why. I was like, this thing's terrible, don't buy it. And they were like, here you go, have one for free. I was like, what?
It's so funny you should say that. It's almost like slagging off a company is worth more than actually saying something good about a product. I remember Emma on her YouTube channel, she slagged off a beauty brand that she didn't like because of a product that she got and it just wasn't right. That was about 6 or 7 years ago. She's been on their mailing list ever since, and everything that they release, they send her. It's hilarious. It
Now,
really is.
on the subject of Emma, I was talking to Rachel again the other night about how Emma watches the streams and supports you, not every week, but every now and again. And Rachel, I think, felt bad, so she's joined in. This is proof that your wife's wife watches you, even if I'm 59 minutes late to the party. Hi, Rach.
Rachel.
Thanks for coming.
You should.
I hope you're watching on YouTube so we get ad revenue.
I was going to say, I'm so glad you're coming at this, because the stuff he was saying about you.
Yeah, especially last week. You need to go back and watch last week's.
Yeah, all the way through, because you might miss it. So don't skip anything.
Was it last week or was it the week before?
Oh, you're gonna have to watch them both. Don't just make sure you hit the mid roll.
Watch them all.
Yeah. Make sure you get the mid roll adverts as well.
There we go. Hi, bye. Yeah. Brilliant. Right, I think it's time that we end. You know what's happening next week? Are you excited?
I'm not too sure.
We should tell them what's going on next week.
Should we? I thought it was going to be a surprise.
Oh. All right, we'll do that.
No, go on. No, go on. This whole